following the controversies involving discretionary funds of the legislative and executive branches. Administration allies in the House of Representatives are moving to repeal the Judiciary Development Fund. But they're quick to clarify their actions are in no way a retaliation to the Supreme Court's decision against the DAP and the PDAF. Katrina Domingo reports.
The Legislative's discretionary fund was first to go when the Supreme Court declared the Priority Development Assistance Fund unconstitutional in July last year. Earlier this month, the High Court also declared the so-called Executive SPORC, the Disbursement Acceleration Program, unconstitutional. Now, the judiciary also stands to lose its discretionary fund as administration allies in the House of Representatives support a proposal to repeal the Judiciary Development Fund, despite protests from court employees.
They are practicing double standard of justice, but they have a JDF na hindi dumadaan sa pondo ng Bureau of Treasury, and yet they can just close their eyes and say that nothing is wrong with it. How can that be? How can they say that when it comes to executive and legislative, unconstitutional kayo, pero yung JDF na hindi malaman kung paano ginagamit.
House Committee on Justice Chairman Niel Tupas Jr., who authored House Bill 4738, which seeks to repeal the JDF, denies that the move to take away the High Court's discretionary fund is to get even with the judiciary.
Definitely not. No? Dapat no one is above the law, not even the members and officials of the Supreme Court. Lahat tayo, patas tayo. And ultimately, the people will benefit dun sa transparent and accountable funds. But more than that, gusto natin yung transparent na system of government.
Under House Bill 4738, the JDF will be replaced by the Judiciary Support Fund. The judiciary will be required to submit an itemized budget to the Budget Department, detailing how it will spend the amount.
So baka mas mataas pang makuha nila. This would benefit the employees of the Supreme Court compared mo dun sa dating setup na JDF na hindi na talaga nila alam kung saan napupunta yung pera.
Tupas says the judiciary will not be stripped of its fiscal autonomy even if the JDF is repealed. He says under the law, Congress, which has the constitutional mandate to appropriate funds, cannot decrease the total budget requested by the judiciary for each fiscal year.
It can only be turned down if there's no itemized special budget. Walang discretion ang executive na i-withhold yun.
Political analyst Dean Domanhit says the call for transparency in how the judiciary spends its money is commendable. But he says it should have happened earlier, when ties among the three branches of government were not yet strained by the abolition of the DAP and the PDAF. Constitutional law professor Rudyard Avila says should efforts to repeal the JDF succeed in Congress, the Supreme Court will have the final say on the matter anyway.
It's very easy for them to put out a bill. It could be signed by the President, but at the end of the day, it's the Supreme Court that will decide whether or not such a move on the part of Congress and the Executive would be constitutional.
Despite that, Tupas is keen on doing away with the JDF. He says his committee will prioritize the measure and hear it alongside impeachment complaints against the President. Katrina Domingo reporting.